Hey mamas, it's your girl Carrie, and welcome back to another episode of Mom Life, Career Life. Today we are talking about something that is so real this time of year: how to actually manage your time this summer without feeling completely overwhelmed. Because I don't know about you, but every single year, summer just somehow sneaks up on me. One minute we're surviving the chaos of the school year, and the next minute we're suddenly trying to juggle summer camps and vacations and different schedules, kids home more often, and somehow still try to keep up with work and life running normally. And if you're a working mom, summer can sometimes almost feel like this weird in between season where everything kind of slows down a little bit, but your responsibilities, they don't. And honestly, I've been feeling this a lot lately. This past year has been such a complete whirlwind for our family and for me personally. And I found myself craving such a slower summer more than ever before. And especially because Ashley will be heading off to college at the end of summer. Cue the tears. I honestly cry daily these days. And while I'm so grateful that she chose a school that's a drive away and not a plane ride away, because that's where she was headed, I already know that I'm going to be a complete emotional disaster dropping her off. So this summer just feels extra special for me. I don't want to spend it stressed and rushing and constantly feeling behind. I want to be more present. I want family time. I want slower moments. I want those memories. But I also know that none of that happens by accident. And that's why today we're talking about how to intentionally manage your time this summer in a way that actually supports the kind of season that you want to have. And before we jump in, if boundaries is something you struggle with, because that's something you completely need this summer, especially around work, your schedule, saying yes to too much, or constantly feeling pulled in a million different directions, I want to invite you to grab my free Boundaries Made Simple guide, because boundaries are one of the biggest reasons that some moms enjoy summer while others feel completely burned out by July. Grab your copy, it's in the show notes, and let's jump into today's episode. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work? Time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Carrie, a wife, a mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being so intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first, because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. Have you looked at your calendar lately and thought, wait, how is summer basically here already? Because if you're anything like me, you're just starting to catch your breath from the school year. And honestly, I'm still barely breathing because this month is just completely chaotic. Actually, the next 6 weeks are going to be completely chaotic. And now we're heading into the summer season where everything's going to shift. The kids are home more, the routines change, the schedules become a little bit more unpredictable. And somehow work still expects the same version of you. And that is where things can start to feel completely overwhelming. A few weeks ago, we talked about how to plan an intentional summer, really getting clear on how you want your summer to feel. And I'll link that episode in the show notes. But here's the part that no one really talks about. You can have the best intentions in the world, and then real life hits. The schedules change. The kids are fighting. Camp pickups get moved. Work gets busy. Dinner still has to happen. And suddenly you feel like you're barely keeping your head above water. So today, I want to talk to you about how to actually manage your time within the vision you have for your summer, so you don't lose it 2 weeks in and spend the rest of the summer stressed and reactive and just trying to survive the day. Because summer, it doesn't have to feel chaotic. You don't need the perfect schedule. You just need a few intentional shifts that are going to help you stay grounded, help you be flexible, and be really realistic in the season of life you're in. So we're starting off with tip number 1. Decide how you want your summer to feel. Before we talk about the calendars, the schedules, the logistics, this is where you really need to start, because a lot of us skip the step. We go straight to the planning mode. And I do talk more in depth about this in my intentional summer episode, but honestly, it's so worth repeating here because it matters that much. If you don't decide how you want summer to feel, you're going to default into reacting to everything around you. So I really want you to ask yourself and sit with it. What do I want this summer to feel like? Do you want it to feel relaxed or fun or slow or connected or peaceful, or maybe a little bit of everything? But once you have that clarity, it becomes your filter. It helps you decide what to say yes to, what to let go of, where your time and energy should go. Because time management, it's not just about managing your time. It's about managing your priorities, managing your energy, and most importantly, managing your expectations. And for me personally, I want the summer to feel relaxed. This past year has honestly been a complete whirlwind, and I really want to be intentional about the quality time I have with the kids, especially Ashley before she heads off to college, because These moments, they matter. And I already know those final weeks before move-in day are going to completely fly by, just like this year did. Number two, anchor your week in simple rhythms. Now, once you have that vision, you need to create a little structure to support it. And let me be clear, summer does not have to be this rigid schedule, and it shouldn't be. You need to leave that white space and some room for flexibility. But what summer needs is some rhythm, because when there's zero structure, everything just feels harder. So instead of trying to schedule every hour or every day, just create some simple anchors through the week. Things like a fun Taco Tuesday or dinner at the pool on Friday. Or honestly, this summer, Michael loves to barbecue. We're going to have barbecue nights, probably 3 nights a week, where I'm making that boy cook dinner for me. The perks of having your kids get older. And honestly, if you live near the beach, pizza on the beach just sounds like an absolute dream for me. Maybe that's going to be some of our Friday night things, because Russ, Mike, and I, we love to go watch the sunset on the beach, and having a pizza there would just make it even better. But it doesn't have to be anything fancy. But those little things, those rhythms, they create consistency. And honestly, your kids are going to thrive on that, because these simple anchors and rhythms, they reduce decision fatigue, they create predictability, and they're really going to help your week flow a lot more naturally without completely overcomplicating your life. Number three, plan your week, not your day. And this one is so huge for summer, because when you plan out every hour, one small thing goes wrong and suddenly your whole day is completely thrown off. So instead, plan your week. Have a few priorities, a few anchors, a general plan. This brings me back to something we talked about yesterday on the Monday Mindset episode. Hold your plans loosely, because summer, it's going to shift. Plans change, the weather changes, energy changes, things come up, and not every change is a problem. So instead of spiraling every time something changes, take a breath, adjust, go with the flow. I've honestly been so great with that lately, because decision fatigue has got me by Friday. So my weekends are the least decisions I need to make. That is my plan. So I just go with the flow of whatever happens on the weekend, because flexibility is one of the most underrated time management skills any mom can develop, and I can't stress that enough. Number four, redefine what a productive workday looks like. Now, let's talk about the thing that really throws working moms off during the summer: work. Because during the school year, there's usually a lot more structure. Kids are in school, your schedule is so much more predictable, you have clearer focus time. But in the summer, especially if you work from home or if you have a hybrid schedule, interruptions happen, schedules shift, your mental load changes, and yet we still expect ourselves to function in the same way we do during the school year. The same outputs, the same focus, the same productivity. And that's where the frustration starts, because your expectations no longer match your reality. So instead, redefine what productivity looks like in this season, both the season of life and the season of the year. Maybe productivity right now looks like focusing on your top 2 to 3 priorities, shorter, focused work blocks, letting go of perfection. This is a big one. Accepting that uninterrupted work time may not really exist right now, because productivity in this season is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most with the time and the energy that you actually have. And this is where boundaries become so incredibly important. And I can't stress that enough, because work will absolutely take as much space as you allow it to take. There will always be one more email, one more task, one more thing to tweak. So you have to decide where that line is. And that might mean shutting your laptop down at a set time, blocking your calendar out. I am huge with that. Communicating your availability very clearly, protecting your evenings, and more importantly, your weekends. Because if you don't intentionally create boundaries, work is slowly going to creep into your personal time and take away from that quality time that you want to be spending with your family. Number five, create protected work blocks and weekly priority. Okay, this is kind of 2 tips in one, but they completely go together. Trying to work all day while also being consistent and available to everyone, it doesn't work, especially in the summer. If you work away from home and you're not a remote worker, this is so much easier because you're in an office. But even in an office, you get distracted. So it's creating those protected work blocks. And when you work from home, this is even more important, because you need to get work done. And your kids, if they're in and out, or you have to pick up from camp and drop off from camp and do all the things, you need to be really focused and create those work blocks during the day to get tactical work done, to get your meetings out of the way, especially in the summer. And if you do work from home, you need to communicate your work blocks with your family. Let them know, during this work block, I really need to have focus time, so that way we can do something fun later as a family. Because honestly, there is nothing like trying to get work done or answer emails when someone's asking for a snack every 10 minutes. Or the second you finally sit down to focus, suddenly everyone needs something from you. So instead of fighting reality, you need to work with it, and pair this with another important shift. Choose your weekly non-negotiable priorities. And this is at work and at life. Not everything on your to-do list actually matters equally. So you're going to focus on the things that truly move the needle. And honestly, choosing your top 3 priorities for the day has been such a game changer for me over the years, because when those things get done, it becomes a whole lot easier to shut down your work, walk out the door without the guilt. Number 6, lower the bar strategically. And I had to include this one because it really does matter so much. Summer, it's not the season to try to do everything perfectly. And I really want to clarify something. This is not about lowering your standards. It's about adjusting your expectation for the season of life you're in, because so many moms try to carry that school year expectations into a completely different season. And that pressure, it builds up fast. So instead, ask yourself, where can I make life easier? Maybe that looks like simpler meals. I am all about less ingredients, quick meals, few pans. How can I get it done? Air fryer, best thing we ever invested in our house. Our kids make their own meals. It's great. Maybe you're going to do more takeout, maybe paper plates on some nights, less perfectly folded laundry, saying no to unnecessary commitments, hiring a cleaning person for the summer if it's within your budget. But I really want you to hear this. You do not get extra credit for doing everything the hard way. Your kids do not need a perfect house to have a magical summer. What they actually need is you, present, available, not completely exhausted or overstimulated, trying to keep up with impossible expectations. Because when you intentionally lower that bar in certain areas, you're creating space for what actually matters. And that is where the shift happens. Less pressure, less overwhelm, more joy. And number 7, you don't have to do this alone. I really want to end with this because I really don't think moms hear this enough. You do not have to do everything by yourself. I remember when my kids were younger, 3 different camps, 3 different schedules, 3 different drop-offs and pickups. And yes, people always say, why don't you put them in the same camp? I didn't put them in the same camp because they're all different. Kaylee loves sports camps. Ashley loves art. Michael was a different age group altogether. So it constantly felt like we were juggling everything. And this is where your village matters. Carpooling, parent connections, asking for help, sharing the load. And another great option, a mother's helper, a local high school student or college student that's home for the summer looking to make some extra cash, can honestly be life-changing. Even just having someone come over for a couple of hours can help you catch up on work, breathe for a second, or rotate having one-on-one time with each of your children, or simply just not feeling like you're carrying everything alone, because small support can make really big differences. And at the end of the day, this is not about having a perfectly planned summer. It's about being intentional with the time that you do have and giving yourself permission to adjust when life throws curveballs, because the moms that enjoy the summers the most are not the moms doing everything perfectly. They're the moms who simplify, who prioritize, who set those boundaries and let go of the things that don't really matter. So ahead of the summer, ask yourself, what matters most? Start there, keep it simple, hold your plans loosely, and enjoy the season that you're in. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life, or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat.